Hey, seekers and light workers, namaste. Danielle Vidya here with the Holistic Harmony Tribe, shooting my first video of 2020, and in quite some time, I've had a roller coaster of a ride for the end of 2019, and even 2020 is looking to be very interesting. I have a lot of family stuff going on, and shifts and changes, and some universal stuff that happened for me the end of last year that created major shifts in my life that I wasn't expecting. So I have fallen off of my game in regards to shooting videos. I have not taught a group class in a studio since December 8th. So I have been taking this time to really recollect my own energy and kind of get my bearings back and really just build myself up so that I can be a good guide to whoever it is that's listening, as I've always tried to do over the last 3 years that I've been a teacher and, being a light worker that's trying to spread the message in this way. I have really taken a lot of steps to build myself to a place that when I teach, everything that's inside of me is what pours out. It's not scripted, it's completely authentic. Of course, my meditations I do write down, but otherwise, everything that happens in my classes has always been transparent and very candid and exactly a reflection of who I am and where I'm at in my life. And so I didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to teach during a time where I really needed to kind of process things that have happened and maybe start fresh for myself, if you want to call it that. So my setup right now is kind of dim. I don't have my normal lights or anything like that. This message is much less about me and what I look like and way more about you guys and just trying to get you back on track. I know a lot of people have been missing meditations as they feel as though it really helps them to just be in tune with what's going on and why and what energy is around them so that they can really kind of dive in deep and explore the things inside of them that need to be explored and changed and surface the shadow sides of us that we really are looking to release and let go. So every new moon and every full moon gives us an opportunity for just that, a fresh start, a new perspective, a change in pace. I really like to look at these meditations as like a checkpoint for yourself to see where you are and maybe what's led you to here. And therefore, perhaps you can then make different decisions as to how you want to move forward. Some things, of course, are beyond our control. And some things aren't. Some things really are a lot of what we're thinking, and it's being projected out into the world, and things are showing up because of the ways in which we are showing up to the situations and circumstances that are around us. So sorry for the glare from in my glasses and the darkness. It's kind of gloomy today, but happy Thursday. It's Friday Junior. And so this week we experienced a super full moon in Leo. Some of us even got really cool pictures of the moon because it was ginormous. So if you caught it during the right time, it was amazing. If you didn't, totally okay. If you're not a Leo, that doesn't mean that this moon doesn't affect you. I think that people think that, oh, this is my moon. Well, this is my moon because I am a Leo. But really, the energy affects us all. If you happen to have these signs in your chart, then they may really target you and be a little bit more intense. But the intensity could be that way for anybody, regardless of their sign. A lot of us only pay attention to our sun sign, not so much the rising and the moon and all the other planets. So if you've never gotten your natal chart done or read, I suggest doing that because it really is like your fingerprint. It is a part of you that no one else has because of the time, location, and where everything was aligned when you were born. That is a huge part of your story and doesn't have to be the whole story. It could just give you some insight as to why maybe things affect you in certain ways or, why you kind of tap in or tune into certain things. And, it just gives you some clarity sometimes on where you are in your life and maybe why situations look the way that they do, which is really cool. So get your natal chart done if you haven't. If you need it and you don't know where to go, just write to me and I'll hook you up with that. So the February super full moon in Leo was really, the theme was all about loving with your entire heart and connecting to your inner child. Leo rules the heart, romance, children, creativity, playfulness, vitality. And so the full moon encourages you to find your eternal inner light this month, because we all have it inside of us. My light was totally dimmed over the last couple of months because of things that I experienced that hit me really hard and hurt me. So, this message really spoke to me as well, where I had to really search and reignite my inner light when, in my opinion, it felt like it was thrown, the ocean was thrown on top of it and it was completely out. So again, why I chose not to kind of be teaching or guiding during that time, because that's not me. And I don't want to spread that frequency and leave that imprint on anyone who's listening. So the light inside of you is always on. And as humans, it's so important to have a constant in your life, someone that is always there no matter what. And sometimes our constants fade away, either through passings, which I've had happen. I'm sure many of us have as well. Mishaps that separate, situations that cause separations between people. So this month's moon was really all about recognizing that the one constant that will never be taken away is you, and really finding comfort and safety with your own self, your own light, no matter what it is that's happening around you that is beyond our control. With the way that things are with politics and viruses and, all these scary things that are happening, homelessness and, just everything that's in the world, poverty that, we can't really do too much about for other people. We could take small steps that create change, of course, but on an everyday basis, we're just hit with it on all angles. And I feel like that also causes us to shy away from social media and group settings, because the energy that is being brought to the table in these platforms is really scary. It's negative, it's fearful, and it's really hard to tune out, especially that, people watching these videos recognize themselves as empaths. I feel as though we are all empaths, but how much we want to acknowledge or understand that is what raises our level of awareness. So I don't think that there are only certain individuals that are light workers or certain individuals that feel other people's pain or absorb energy. I think we all do that. And the more we educate ourselves as to how and why and what to do with that energy, how to process it, how to move it along, how to transmute it into something positive, the better everything around us will look and reflect, even though those circumstances that are beyond us are not changing fully. The perspective and the thought of love when we're looking at these things is the miracle that we need to happen. And if it happens one person at a time, that's all we can ask for, because that eventually will join the collective. We are not separate, we are all one. So however it is that you want to figure out how to research and understand that on a deeper level, I encourage it. There are books out there, there are videos, there are podcasts. I mean, we're living in a time now where information is at our fingertips all the time, good and bad. So maybe stop Googling the symptoms of the things that you have and start Googling the ways in which you can process and, move that energy through the body. Everything that I try to teach between chakras, Reiki, and beyond is all about figuring out what to do with that energy that we're absorbing from other people, that we're storing inside from our own trauma, and how to transmute and release out the things that no longer serve and really just make room for more love. That is all that I'm ever trying to do: inspire, educate, and empower. So I feel as though everybody that's watching this video is on the same path, and that's why we're united and brought together in this way. So again, I encourage you to do whatever it takes to reignite that light if it's been totally dimmed out. And if it's too on fire, if you have too much internal fire, that also can be something that can throw you off course. So we're really looking to find a nice balance here and just understand with this moon that the constant is you. Even if the people in the situations, jobs, whatever it is, change drastically. My family is moving out of state. That's a huge change for me. So, that constant of having my mom in, close proximity to me is going to change very drastically within the next few months. And as an only child, that definitely, is going to affect me in some way, even if I don't see my mom on a daily basis. Just the thought of not having her here definitely feels different. So even processing something like that is challenging. And, the constant lies within you. And it's so important to just be able to always come back to that, to find your center and get grounded so that when things around you change so drastically, you're still okay. And then you can perhaps be the rock and the support system for others without compromising yourself in the process. So if you're going through a time where maybe you feel sad, depressed, upset, devoid of your light at times, there's always a flicker of light inside of you waiting to grow. And this full moon, which we're still sitting in the energy of, even though it was last weekend, it's really the strongest the 3 days before, the 3 days after. And so until we get to the new moon phase, we're still sitting in that energy for quite some time. So even if you see this message a year from now, it's being shown to you and given to you at exactly when you need it, regardless of, the time. That's, a construct of the mind. So this full moon also may bring to light the areas of your life where you need to breathe in more happiness and joy. Because if things have been really stressing you out or weighing on you or changing so drastically or just really affecting you, this moon is probably going to allow that to kind of surface a little bit and be brought to light so that you can acknowledge where you need to just breathe, accept, and find peace, regardless of all of the outside circumstances. So with the planetary breakdown, really briefly, of what's going on this month, Venus is in Aries and it's asking you to set a clear intention to be brave and seek out joyous experiences. Again, just kind of finding a way to not ignore the negative stuff that's going on, because then I think we're living in ignorance when that happens. But I think just accepting people for where they're at and not wanting people to agree with you or have the same opinion, and knowing that it's okay. That's what makes up the world, all different shapes, sizes, opinions. That's what makes the world go round, and our uniqueness is a beautiful thing. So if we try to look at people at the level of pain that they're operating at rather than the level of love that you wish they were at, then you're just extending more of your light towards that person by not judging or creating even more pain, because that's really the opposite of what we're trying to do. With with Mars in Sagittarius, it encourages you to see life as an adventure and to do something that maybe you've not done before. So if you had plans to do a New Year's routine with your skincare, with your health, with your diet, whatever, and it hasn't happened or you've fallen off at this time, no worries. Start it now. You already know, I would think, that if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same results. So try something different, try something new, and be consistent for a dedication of a time frame that's going to make sense to promote change. Because if you just do something once, that's exactly what you're going to get back. Very quick, short change or shift. That it can't be constant when you're trying to perhaps shift an energy, a thought, a mind frame, a body type, a habit of a lifetime. Doing something once to shift it and then giving up and claiming defeat is really just keeping you with that light very dim. And we're looking to really embrace our inner light and ignite it. So again, Leo has a childlike energy. It wants to play. It wants to have fun. It rules creativity. So you might be feeling at this point in time where you want to do something creative, that you're just like, I don't know why I'm called to like color in a coloring book or do paint night or, something like that. Do it. That is your inner child screaming to have fun and play. And it's not silly or a waste of time. It actually is really healing and helpful to take that time for yourself and embrace whatever it is that you're called to do, just like we did when we were children. We didn't sit around in our toy box and be like, I'm not going to play with this toy because it's silly and it's, for babies. I mean, we, did whatever it was that felt good. And we lose that along the way as we start to dabble into other parts of society and life. And it's really just important to do whatever it is that calls to you and embrace it. Take an hour for yourself to do something fun. I have vision boards coming up again, probably at the end of this month or beginning of March. I know a lot of times people feel like, I don't need to make a vision board. I'm 50 years old. I'm 60 years old. Why do I need a vision board? Why? That is really the exact opposite mind frame that we're looking to be in. Actually, to think that you have no more goals or that you've achieved everything that you've wanted to achieve in your life. I mean, congratulations if that's the case. But if there are still things that you want to move towards and learn how to shift your energy so that you can be compelled into right action to think and create a life that you're showing up to make things happen, then the vision board is exactly the visualization tool that every successful entrepreneur uses. And that's where I actually got that whole concept from, was Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and, any successful business person usually has some kind of form of vision board. I even view my calendar to be a type of vision board, because if I'm not moving towards my appointments and preparing for them, then they're probably not going to happen. And if they do, they won't happen as well as I could have made them. So a vision board doesn't have to be just pictures slapped on a piece of oak tag and look at my arts and crafts. That's actually the opposite of what I try to show people that it is. So whatever it is that's called to you, I encourage you to do it. If you don't have anybody else out there encouraging you to embrace your inner child and do the things that call to you, then I'm doing that for you now. So fire and earth are the predominant elements this month, coiling and mixing together. Fire bringing inspiration and hope. Earth brings practicality and tangibility. So this energy is asking you to take what you're inspired by and do something with it. Beautiful. So if you have a wonderful idea, fire, make sure you take action steps to manifest it into the world, earth. And no matter how serious you might be, there is a part of you that wants to play and have fun. No matter what age you are, there's still a child inside of you waiting to come out. So I offer these quotes during meditation, which I'll give to you guys now. The first one is, a child can teach an adult 3 things: to be happy for no reason, to always be busy with something, and to know how to demand with all his might that which he desires. Second quote is that it's never too late to have a happy childhood. So sometimes when we use the word inner child, it is a buzzword for a person that may be triggering because they may not have had the best childhood. Even that is something to process, release, and let go. Let this be your second childhood, third childhood right now. In chakra, I teach how our energy is developed in cycles. And so we develop certain ones at certain ages and then have a second go around. So, consider this to be your second, third, fourth childhood that you're living right now and doing all of the things that you always wanted to do, but just never had the guts or the courage or whatever it is to do it. And if finances are a struggle, again, do something like a vision board so that you can pull the resources towards you by emanating that frequency of what it is that you want, like you already have it. That's what I teach in my vision board workshop, is to how to radiate and walk through life like that conduit that's just going to pull like a vortex all of the things that you need to be able to get exactly what it is you want. And it may not even look like what you thought it would. It may be better, beyond. I feel like my life is a reflection of that, with, my lifestyle and how I live and the businesses that I've built and the freedom that's, been cultivated of that. That's not by luck or by chance. I do not come from a long line of entrepreneurs or, people that took a lot of risks. I actually come from a long line of people that looked for comfort and safety in the security of their jobs. And so my family thinks I'm crazy with the things that I do, and that's okay. And our lives look very different, and that's okay too. So we all have our own individual circle of light that can shine. I'm encouraging you with this energy to take this time to find out where you can shine through all the darkness, through the chaos. Keep your focus on finding where you can shine. Feel safe in your expansive state. Some of us find that worthiness of being even expansive and sharing that light to be a challenge, because there's so many people out there that are ready to knock you down. But it's interesting because once you start to radiate at that frequency, those people and situations that don't vibrate the same way, that would shoot you down, fade away. And that's a painful process as well. But the end result is that you are now uplifted to a level where you want to be met at, and not constantly meeting people where they're at. Your growing aura will expand to the collective. And again, if that's something that's a little bit beyond your comprehension, ask me. I love teaching stuff like that. So I hope that this message receives you in the highest good, in your best light, in a happy state. And if it didn't, hopefully it'll shift that for you. So if you like this video, hit the like button, share it with anybody that you feel needs to hear this message. Again, doesn't really matter when it is. Could be 2 years, 10 years from now. Okay? These messages I create, I believe, are time capsules that we can look at later on, and hopefully somewhere down the line, it'll impact someone in a positive way. So share the love, share the light, and be the constant of that within. Until we meet again, namaste.